A naked man runs into the lake for a bath as a strong wind hits the bloodstream, changing his personality. His clothes slowly fall off, revealing his body like a jade statue. He and Tu-Du slowly climb the 99-level jade staircase. On the jade staircase lies a dark lake, and shortly after passing through the white jade steps, he approaches the lake and says, "Merge with me, let us conquer the peak together once again." Speaking softly and without hesitation, he continues to walk deeper into the lake and sees a tree with roots on the lake shore. Originally a liquid with 6 qualities, it quickly dissolves into drops in the blink of an eye. Attracted by a sharp object, not a drop of red rain falls. He notices a cultural decay of this liquid. A smile appears on his lips as he feels a strange force enveloping him. "If you want, merge with me." After saying so, he removes his energy shield. Suddenly, a loud noise, the entire gloomy lake forms a vortex. A terrifying sharp force spreads from above, trying to swallow the gloomy lake. Endless seawater rushes in, tearing flesh, bones, and even souls, continuously disintegrating into billions of cells, even the smallest things. But upon closer inspection, they seem to be constantly merging, creating a deep red color. A red lotus has bloomed without anyone noticing. The petals fall like fiery flames. The red lotus does not hesitate to merge with Tu-Du. Meanwhile, a sudden drop of golden blood from above unexpectedly shines brightly. Puyat Tun Vin Hang feels a familiar breath and suddenly rushes towards the gloomy lake. Meanwhile, millions of miles away in the sky, all the elders of the Thien Ko clan change their colors, turning into flowing light. And shortly after, in the eyes of the elders, the calm lake and the sound of rippling water suddenly turn blood red. In the lake is a figure, a humanoid shape that no one can identify the race of, and as he rises into the sky of the Thien Ko clan, everyone is amazed. Thunderclouds gather. Could it just be emotions? What is causing the lightning to strike? Could there be a creature defying nature? It's impossible to have such a creature, but when something happens, lightning will appear. According to legend, when the Hao clan encounters something, the heavens and the earth react with lightning, even using their eyes to disperse the thunderclouds, just like the green lotus born from the chaotic depths has just emerged, and everywhere is green lotus. Strange sounds follow. Dozens of Thien Ko clan elders cannot contain their emotions. But at this moment, as if remembering something, an elder suddenly speaks up. "Do you feel that the creature in this blood lake seems familiar?" But then another horrifying scream echoes. It's not the legendary blood pirate. As the words end, a loud thunderclap with thousands of meters falling into the Thien Tin Lake. The man most beloved by the giant tree is suddenly destroyed and begins to regenerate from scratch. At this moment, an unimaginable force continuously pours into the body of Ka Tik, turning the red lake into a dragon. The red dragons wrap around each other and form the shape of a human. The origin god Vo-Tu suddenly whispers at that moment. The entire space trembles because of this. Looking at the figure standing in front and behind, the image of a person in a sea of virtual blood appears. That is the Sea of Mystery, also known as the Red Blood Sea. It is difficult for Kohai to describe how extremely mysterious Huyan Min is. Kohai is struggling, and this is his third current body, Huyan Min Hai. Back then, the blood robbery sea looked exactly the same. However, compared to before, the current foundation is much more terrifying. Surely, there is a blood-colored lotus on his forehead, making him even more charming and noble. The blood-colored lotus on his forehead shines, and the lotus seems to react and fall onto his shoulders. This body is truly perfect, resembling a real person and truly satisfying with the body. As for his 2 other large bodies, they are considered top-notch. The original physique can be considered the best. However, despite his perfect red blood physique, he must admit that what is truly frightening is that this body is born with 2 major principles. One is the principle that the blood sea can turn into a blood-colored ocean. Everything can be swallowed up, and the second principle is the massacre of the demon clan. The demon-killing clan naturally has to assume this principle to stop killing the world and all creatures. Fish truly cannot resist killing. That is the safest development method for the red blood body, and it does not pollute the smile of the soul of charm. He also carefully looks at the body behind the extended illusory sea. If the fish wants, the blood-colored sea waves can engulf the world. The red blood mystery creature is half a lord, with a body that can transform into a blood-colored ocean in the blink of an eye. Even the most powerful lord would find it difficult to pass through the red blood sea. Looking at the silent fish, the corner of his mouth curls up inexplicably. This is the blood sea, and now the sound of the roaring waves replaces the gradually dissipating human voices. Instead, it is the ocean. This is truly my body. How can he not imagine compared to normal life? The red blood body is not at the same level. But simply put, even half a lord or even a lord cannot do anything in front of me. In the past, the undefeated red blood sea robber truly helped a lot with his original body. But thinking back, it is true that it is difficult without a soul, not to mention a red blood body like this. But at this moment, he cannot help but think of the legendary great magic master, the great blood magic. The corner of his mouth twitches slightly. Y2Do also has some expectations. Surely, he will learn to become the great magic master. Thinking of that, his eyes fall on a drop of blood on the red blood sea. With this eternal drop of blood, for his red blood body. It is clearly very useful. He takes a deep breath, and even the fish is nervous. The third body is about to regenerate the body to return the soul to the owner, but he has no idea that he is still counting stars in the sky. In his calm eyes, a sparkling drop of golden blood falls into his hands. The corner of his mouth twitches slightly, he cannot help but expect the future. Deciding that the main star of the sky, a light laugh. His mind gradually sinks into the most important thing, which is to digest the heritage. But now, when he thinks about the heritage of the demon-killing civilization, a very frightening event, a continuous riot, for a lifetime, the human figures all close their eyes. Looking at the deepest part of the human race, the soul of the demon-slaying divine beast of the Sat Ma tribe, which is also their clan's protective weapon, has been passed down for a long time. Rarely does a weapon truly revive, even leaving traces on armor. And now, the soul of Kai trembles. An ancient residence reappears, the water ancestor has returned. With it is a dazzling red glow. The Tula world covers countless powerful beings, the Tula supreme tribe all have a changed look. They can guess each other's thoughts, finally can be called the Emperor's soldiers. All the strong in the Shura tribe are called ancestors, only a few of them. Swallowing their saliva, the strong in the Shura tribe also know that the situation has become serious. At this moment, Y2Do had no reaction to these things, but instead immersed in blood that never ended. He was in a blurry space but could see clearly countless sparkling stars deep in the sky. They were all the legacy of the star transmission. Surprisingly, the woman pointed to a star with her fingertip. Only hearing a loud bang, a powerful spiritual force turned into countless pieces rushing towards Luke Gi. Lang Tuyat Huyat Dao Quay Nagi Nam, he saw his figure holding the blood saber in hand. Every strike of the saber seemed to cut through the air, tearing apart the spirit of blood, ripping apart the void. This is the Huyat Dao Quay based on the Tula civilization, which is considered the 6th level cultivation technique of Lin Tuyat. Along with the Lin Tuok cultivation, they are clearly separated. Y2Do also had to admit that the Dao Tuyat was very powerful. Meeting a foe would result in injuries, both for the enemy and himself. Among them, there were also the common cultivation methods. The world has changed the cultivation methods in Lang Tuyat. More than just references. With a light sigh, he also noted that the Dao Tuyat had no intention of cultivation. But after thinking for a while, he chuckled inwardly, looking at the thousands of stars in the sky. These famous Tula heritages could very well compensate for the greatest shortcomings of the forces under our command. He then turned towards the spirit, exuding a powerful and fierce aura, all of which were imbued with the method of burning blood energy, thereby increasing combat power significantly. Although adjustments were needed, successful cultivation could become one of the means of many powerful individuals, even surpassing the divine techniques. Deserving of the civilized legacy, a secret method of Lang Tuyat that piqued my interest. Unfortunately, some stars had dimmed, and information was lacking. Powerful like the eternal blood chi, keeping such secrets secure was challenging. But there were still 3,000 skills. At this moment, his gaze became slightly rigid. His eyes turned towards the brightest star, shining like the sun, standing out like the bright moon. That man possessed many supreme means, but still needed to cultivate skills that could not be killed. Near that star, there is no shortage, in fact, it is even more terrifying. And what is more terrifying is that when a woman looks from afar, she feels an indescribable fear. Taking a deep breath, the woman Yu also feels a bit nervous. He also has some guesses. Could it be that the Tula civilization not only has a great divine transmission, except for this, he can't think of anything else. Just at this moment, at 4 a.m., a faint sound is heard wandering in the space. When the Tula civilization had not imposed divine laws, countless divine forces appeared, but only a few were truly heritage. Apart from the divine heritage, the rest belonged to our Shira clan. The eternal blood divine law had 480 million and 70 million divine essences. The eternal blood was ancient and immortal. Apart from the divine heritage, the rest belonged to our Shira clan. Another eternal saint existed, with black lips and veins of blood. Nothing could escape his devouring. According to legend, the 12 virtues of Kim Lin of the Lin Gao had fallen into the hands of our people, different from the path of our writer. At this moment, a quiet voice was heard. The Liat Hua Hong Lin girl at the corner of her eye kept squinting. Tula civilization, you still have an eternal figure named Van Dao Nyan, who is our Tula fame, but only 8 eternal figures subdue the heavens, of which 3 are eternal inside. And the final person is the mythical god of war, who fights endlessly in the heavens and earth. Listening peacefully in his mind, Y2Du couldn't help but imagine a picture. Our obedient child is not surprised when the entire fate of Tula has been buried. And perhaps there is no need to do this forever. In the end, we have the earthly divine saint of 16 billion. He not only runs fast but also has a talent that never ceases to grow. He can even transform his body 7 times, with thick skin and thin flesh. Nowadays, there is also the blood magic technique. I really don't know how other forces in the Luhu era can survive. If I am not mistaken, it seems that all the disobedient forces have been destroyed. Finally, all the records are left with only one Luhu family and countless branches of them after the battle is over. The face becomes numb, the fish girl also looks a bit horrified, but when she closes her eyes slightly, he has fantasized about those 2 bright stars, which seem to be incompatible with him. And now the most important thing is to see what the blood magic great law of the blood spirit has. Without hesitation, Y2Du took a step towards the blood-colored star. The blood magic great law has 480 million subsouls of blood spirit. Each subsoul of blood spirit is equivalent to 1 life, 480 million subsouls of blood spirit. Equivalent to 480 million lives, a word of amazement. Y2Du couldn't help but feel scared. This is indeed the blood magic great law of the blood spirit. Unexpectedly even felt like crying. Training in the blood magic great law of the blood spirit is truly complicated. The determination in the girl's heart is not to turn the great divine transmission of the blood spirit into a great achievement, but she can't help but say that this great divine transmission of the blood spirit is truly complex. A sigh. Y2Du knew about his high dai body and guessed that time would resolve in space, as nurturing a male body required a lot of investment. He even wanted to return home to shop. Although cultivating the great divine law required a lot of time, when successfully cultivated, the great divine law would be like wearing a turtle shell. Even if you can't beat others, during the dominance period, and the territorial army is just meaningless. But if we have truly cultivated the great divine transmission of the blood spirit, we feel that we can fly freely. Even if we can't fly freely, there was no need to run all day. Finally, we also have 16 billion earth souls, not only running fast but also with the talent of immortality along with a strong physical body. And now we also have the blood magic. We even have divine knowledge that can save time. However, when he became lost, he couldn't help but think of a legendary weapon, the Suyen Vuku Dan. It is said that the inherent destiny of the Suyen Vuku Dan is its absolute defense. It can withstand all injuries, even other weapons can still exist to this day. So, a sword like an immortal weapon can certainly survive. With this thought in mind, he began to meditate by controlling the blood sea body and started to understand. Most of the control of the blood sea body and a small part also returned to the self. Just hearing a loud noise, the earth pillar plunged into a gigantic tree at the bottom of the blood sea. A figure of the blood sea body stayed here to meditate, which is not bad. As he finished speaking, his gaze turned towards the blood sea. Every day, a leaf grows an inch after millions of years. The blood sea that the master painter depicted has submerged a difficult star at this moment. The gentle wind blows down and rustles a few tree leaves. Instantly swept by the powerful current of the blood sea, at the same time, a sudden explosion was heard. The body of the blood sea was also unintentionally creating a surprising force. From the depths of the blood sea along with the growth of soul energy comes a blood-colored ocean. Capable of containing everything while still being able to turn them into nutrients for itself, the demand for resources is quite astonishing. Without enough treasures, the speed of cultivation will also slow down when returning to the sky. It seems that it is necessary to go on a journey to Tula, the most ancient tribe. The great village is like a star. Suddenly, Ni Nam remembered the famous Tula great master. Thinking extremely deeply, this female fish also raised her eyes to look towards the outside world. And shortly after, not long after, a sudden rumbling sound echoed through the heavens and the earth, astonishing countless powerful individuals. The Fire King has finally left the Stargate. The rightful leader who has been cultivating for a long time raised his eyes to the end of the sky. In that distant sky, an image crossing through time and space is approaching, suddenly biting his lip. In one of the rare instances, the Dragon King reveals a weak posture. The Fire King's younger brother steps down amidst the expectations of all the powerful individuals. The 9 realms seem to be cheering, waiting with folded hands. The image of Y2Do has crossed the heavens and the earth, while at the same time, in the void, the wall is swirling like the heavens and the earth spinning in front of the face of the terrifying emperor. In the mythical world, there is a kingdom of my own. In the Buddhist religion, there is also a Buddhist country, and the 9 realms are like a mythical kingdom. And Buddhism, this is my personal territory. I have absolute control over the 9 realms. I feel like I am attending a feast hosted by men. But it is only in his room that is truly bustling. The wall above is like a small star, but the 9 realms seem endless. And at this moment, a simple conversation about the past has made Y2Do realize that the wall above has been restored a lot. And only the head of the sword sect is slightly injured. Even he looks in the direction of an approaching image. What do you need? Sir, a light chuckle. Y2Do took out a peach. Thank you, Fire King. The head of the sword sect does not need to be a guest. Directly receiving the peach, in a moment, he also asked about the condition of the sovereign. Waving his hand gently, he shifted the topic to this issue. We have wasted too much time. It is time for us to return to the celestial realm, but unfortunately, the water sovereign has finally become a great danger. Asai leaned against the wall in silence. The monster holding the earth array is too terrifying. The sovereign is the only hope. If even he cannot resist, perhaps a great disaster will come. And at this moment, the quadruple letting has realized. A slight smile appeared at the corner of Y2Do's mouth, seemingly unsmiling, but at the same time, an indescribable feeling suddenly appeared in his soul. And at that moment, what appeared before Y2Do's eyes was an illusion. It is a forest. In the center of the forest, with a girl holding a fruit the size of a palm. Maybe the game has been decided, right? A smile on her lips. Y2Do was also slightly satisfied. If the plan of the divine enlightenment tree is not wrong, it will also succeed here. He also begins to evaluate a genius called the snail tribe. Even the mysterious natives have appeared. In a moment of smiling, staring into his eyes is the first genius to refine fruits. He still cares and hopes for his development. Right after that, his gaze turned back to the sky because the adventure had lasted too long. Zhang Cheng and Vu Tu broke through the 9 worlds straight to the sky. At this point, the sky became restless because of the appearance of the divine tree enlightenment. Rumor has it that the divine tree enlightenment has appeared, causing numerous forces to fight, especially the secret forces fighting not long ago. The sky's most arrogant tribes all appeared in track, which is really terrifying. Just at this moment, it seems that when thinking of a certain powerful person, he also said the truth. It is said that after the chaotic battle between the forces, breaking the mysterious region along with the enlightenment magic, also disappeared. So who broke the mysterious region? Obviously someone accidentally touched the most powerful technique. Enlightenment magic felt the danger. So, exploding the entire mystery, noisy all around, bringing the divine enlightenment magic to a simple conclusion. 1 or 2 hearsay most arrogant first celestial beings went out without going far and met my fuck to follow. Being able to take a fruit to become the most powerful person. Someone sacrifices to protect for half a day but still can't resist the other's eye attack. The continuous screams are just a corner of the sky. 12 strong men exchanged for 1 person. Just by this means, the entire group of sky arrogance of the Mongolian tribe looked at this figure. Being able to take a fruit to become the most powerful person. Someone sacrifices to protect for half a day but still can't resist the other's eye attack. The continuous screams are just a corner of the sky. 12 strong men exchanged for 1 person. Just by this means, the entire group of sky arrogance of the Mongolian tribe looked at this figure. The number of strong people holding power over those at the top is based on the alliances of the people, those who are ignorant of the heavens and the earth. If you can bring them, we can forgive you, those who bite their teeth. The celestial Kyu of the Mongtok looked at this figure. He is also the inheritor of light. This is the planet Pirate, a force hunted by various races. After looking at each other, many strong ones of the Mongtok also showed a bit of determination in their eyes. The battles never gave up their lives. These figures all rushed out to loot the treasures of the planet Pirate, just a part of the sky. Other regions also witnessed chaos and the screams. At this moment, a strong man held a sword towards a distant figure. Alone, the king of the Hong family wandered in the sky, He did not expect that he was being followed by someone with a sneering smile, looking at the heavy wall. He was also brave and intrigued, and now the illusory image of the Hong family gradually opened up, suddenly shining with bright five-colored light. A few images looking at each other between deep breaths, they saw each other's seriousness. He really succeeded with the great five-colored magic, but they couldn't escape at the same time. From afar, the Hong King of the Hong family looked deep into the eyes of the people. The familiar Nam Min King recognized the identity that even a noble person like Sky Arrogance was in trouble, so quickly he immediately found the Kai Luit's strange sound. The missing young lady looked towards the sky. Then he withdrew the restraining technique, suddenly exploded, and the whole person transformed into a different posture. But then Kai Luit pondered, he once again transformed, only saw the light starting to activate. Back to the Pirate King, we are ready to leave. The Chua Hoi Sin raised his foot and went in another direction. So you should also go back immediately. It's been a long time since you went back to the tribe. Maybe worried, you should also leave. The Pirate King's brother. When the words end, the Pirate King's sister Long King has transformed. As a red dragon gazes intently at the sky of the wall, she also felt relieved when the wall departed. It has been a long time since we returned to the Great Pirate, so let's go back now. You should also return immediately. If your families are worried, the little goddess said similarly, I will leave first, pirate brother. As soon as she finished speaking, the younger sister of the Dragon King transformed. As a red dragon gazes intently at the sky of the wall, she also felt relieved when the wall departed. It has been a long time since we returned to the Great Pirate, so let's go back now. You should also return immediately. As a red dragon gazes intently at the sky of the wall, she also felt relieved when the wall departed. It has been a long time since we returned to the Great Pirate, so let's go back now. You should also return immediately. As a red dragon gazes intently at the sky of the wall, she also felt relieved when the wall departed. It has been a long time since we returned to the Great Pirate, so let's go back now. You should also return immediately. As a red dragon gazes intently at the sky of the wall, she also felt relieved when the wall departed. It has been a long time since we returned to the Great Pirate, so let's go back now. You should also return immediately. As a red dragon gazes intently at the sky of the wall, she also felt relieved when the wall departed. It has been a long time since we returned to the Great Pirate, so let's go back now. You should also return immediately. As a red dragon gazes intently at the sky of the wall, she also felt relieved when the wall departed. It has been a long time since we returned to the Great Pirate, so let's go back now. You should also return immediately. As a red dragon gazes intently at the sky of the wall, she also felt relieved when the wall departed. It has been a long time since we returned to the Great Pirate, so let's go back now. You should also return immediately. Ciu Yi looked towards him. Everything turned into emptiness. The master of the flowing palm has successfully overcome difficulties, including weapon freedom, strong opponents, including Ciu Yi. Everything is not surprising. He has overcome difficulties. And here, Yu Tu-Du stared at the white tiger. He knew about the relationship between the master of the flowing palm and himself. Unable to control his worries, he erased a part of his memory with his own hands. Hearing his answer was also a big thing. Everyone was amazed, and he spoke truthfully. No need to worry, I am here during the time I am not there. Has anything happened in the sky? His question is not unfamiliar. Koan Ping too stepped forward from afar, introducing the appearance of the divine tree of enlightenment. But at that moment, the sparkling golden eyes from afar, and then a piece of paper presented. A ray of light shimmered in a captivating moment into the blue water circle. In that smiling moment, Yu Tu-Du also felt half disappointed. The divine stone returns to the 9 realms, only hearing the silent request of Ling Thuan, but everyone turned to him. In the tiny drops of dew, Yu Tu-Du did not hesitate to look directly into the distance. He also smiled and then spoke frankly, the job is done. How did it go returning the first 78 energy spheres you gave me? 70 have fallen out. Currently, there are only 8 left, but the genius of the Ma Ding seems to have taken 4. Except for the Devil's Den, there are 4 other common forces, the Long tribe and the Buddhist sect, who have won 3 rules. Meanwhile, the Phoenix tribe only has 2. Because they cannot directly participate, most are divine beings, so there is only 1 person achieving a rare fruit of happiness. Yu Tu-Du is also asking who is Ma Ding among the 4 people. I only know 2 of them, one is your second disciple Quach Tam, the other is your third disciple. Although both are in the final stage of the 6 realms, their power is terrifying. Yu Tu-do feels happy about this, but then he is surprised when he says, "What about the other two? Don't you recognize them?" The man planned to seize the power of others, but unexpectedly, the four younger siblings in the house also wanted to contribute. Compared to Ba Tam and the Du, the other two are quite unfamiliar, but they are all top talents of the myriad races. Yu Tu-do hears this somewhat curiously, maybe in the past few years. Ma Ding has given birth to new geniuses again. But the specific results need to be considered. If there are really new appearances, it will definitely bring benefits in the future. After all, cleaning up the fruit of the law not only helps Yu Tu-do practice but also accelerates his practice speed. Ma Ding has appeared a genius again, but the specific results need to be seen. If new appearances are truly present, they will surely bring benefits in the future. After all, refining the energy fruit not only helps Yu Tu-do practice but also can enhance his practice speed. Laughing, Yu Tu-do is increasingly looking forward and excited, indescribably enthusiastic. This is also the greatest strategy. He wants the geniuses of the world to help him practice. One person whispered about the genius of the 10,000 people. Yu Tu-do felt a little. At this moment, a scene appeared, a young man sitting to the west with the fruit floating and constantly rotating. In the gentle explosion, the black gas flowed towards the nose of this figure. The dragon tribe's genius, huh? A whispered voice, the girl recognized the identity of the strong person. It is said that the Long family village also has a famous genius. She thought of something and smiled gently. When this dragon tribe genius absorbs the law, it will probably increase the understanding of the law. And at this moment, a reminder, he looks towards the direction not far from the Qilin. Remember to protect the enlightenment magic, especially the first priority is a divine creature of the enlightenment magic. He will think and interact with Yu Tu-do. Upon reversing thoughts, you find Fap Sin still meeting with these strong individuals. And in a split second, as you open your eyes again, you see countless familiar faces gently calling out 9 stars, directly inquiring. I heard this time Ni Gun Yu Din had a big harvest. The owner has obtained both Bat Tea and the Great Beast White Lake. After hearing this, I learned about 2 more people that the Heavenly Dao Beast mentioned. Thinking about this, I also assigned tasks to the 4 of them. In the Doa Kingdom, for every achievement, there might be a reward or 2. CIUV, remember to prepare some good treasures for them. After that, bid farewell to the heavy wall. You still have to sharpen and cultivate yourself before closing the door. But at this moment, Yu Tu-do, in an inverted form, delves deep into the world of the 9 realms. However, he wants to visit the Jade Spirit King. Slowly looking over a vast square, a petite spiritual girl bound by ethereal love can either absorb power or impose strength. Even in a world where gods can be expelled, it will eventually turn into a prison for the masses. Softly whispering, Yu Tu-do is also a trickery, gazing upon an endless view of the purple world. If such a day comes, the strategic significance is certainly not just ordinary terrorism. Thinking about this, between the Philly Deck 2 clan, they press forward to the Vingzia, caring for the Jade Spirit King. How much inheritance Vong Nak Tin can receive depends on your efforts. I understand, the master replied. The spiritual queen's face carried gratitude. Elsa, if you have the chance, I will personally go to the Fish Origin clan for you. Considering the fate and bloodline, my inheritance is sufficient. I have been cultivating for a long time, and this scene clearly indicates a small flower with human characteristics. Continuously caressing hazily on the mont's body, hearing the response of the man and the queen, his heart pressed, looking towards Yu Tu-do in the deep time. He looked from afar, a gaze that extended across the deep time, covered by the sea, and deep within the sea was the divine tree. How does the time jump between planets? Carefully observe a 7-color glow you are blooming amidst the sea. But in the flow of time, forces will pour into your body. Where they fall is also the sea. The forces of time, the forces of the sea, you can absorb them both to develop yourself. Yu Tu-do is also very happy now that the foundation has been significantly reinforced. It is at this moment that he realizes the gaze. He calls out to the master, and Yu Tu-do takes hold. In the echo, he seizes the true body of Wa Lam Tonmai. Surprisingly, his time reacts lightly. Is this because Wa Lam Tonmai was born with a responsibility for time, a sound that the waves can also guess? Slowly lowering his body, he places the true body of Wa Lam Tonmai back on the sea. Wa Lam Tonmai nods, the master goes to cultivate. I will wait for you here. As soon as the flower falls back, seeing Wa Lam Tonmai suddenly radiate a 7-color light. in a sudden explosion, almost seeing the surrounding sea shoot out countless waves. Surprised to see the sea around where the true body of Hua Lam Tanmai had sprouted. At this moment, looking around at the forest of flowers, his true body had a slightly bizarre expression. The sea body is also his body, and now Hua Lam Tanmai is like this. It seems a little comforting. But with a hint of doubt, he does not remind Hua Lam Tanmai. Then Y2Do begins to absorb the forces, the explosion following. This time, he truly wants to embody the Lord of Martial Arts. To suppress the sky thunder, even though my spiritual power has increased, my fighting strength may return to a higher level. As I speak, I fall into the time of cultivation, slowly passing by. In just a flash, several decades have passed. The battle between entities is nearing its end. Most entities have been refined into form. This can be seen from the new group of lords that have appeared in the sky very recently. In just a few decades, several new lords have appeared, including about 20 to 30 people. But the most famous ones are still the 5, including the Dragon Tribe and the Black Dragon. Extremely fierce, I am the World Destroyer, the one who ends all things, unstoppable and irrefutable. From the words spread from his mouth. After refining the grain seeds, he has changed. Except for one unfamiliar person, the other 4 have been famous for a long time. On this day, on a planet in the Dragon Territory, the roar resounded everywhere, and the land cracked. The land cracked in previously lush areas, turning into hell in a short period. In the low sigh, the giant black dragon raised the staff in his hand, self-proclaimed as the central dragon court, looking at the world undergoing great changes, with eyes of satisfaction and contentment. Only when leading all things towards the end can I advance further. The Black Dragon wants to declare the title of the Thunderlord across the universe, not expecting everything to be a monster scheme. When the Central Dragon Court felt a sense of unease, the Thunder Dragon gradually realized. Surrounded by a dark atmosphere of despair and death, swirling around his body, this is the end rule of the Black Dragon. Progressing too quickly, even the Thunder Dragon was taken aback. In just a few decades, this boy refined one of the rules. Up to 8,000 rules. At the speed of his cultivation, it won't be long before he reaches the position of Lord. Those who can cultivate this rule are all wicked beings, the destroyer of worlds side. The trees also bend, carrying the breath of the end rule. The Dragon Tribe is truly a successor. Among all those who refined the fruits, only he progressed rapidly to refine a rule. Always able to cause great disasters at any time, in any place, under his quiet whispering, he incessantly destroys. It's just a pity that he likes but doesn't fit. A gentle smile. The Thunder Dragon also feels the change in his body after several decades. His spiritual power has finally reached the 4th heaven level. This is the limit, but his 4th heaven level is all like a changed mark. The storm sweeps away the sea of blood. The spiritual power makes everything chaotic, shaking the depths of time. The 4th heaven level is a turning point, and now, with the accumulation of spiritual power, he also becomes a 4th heaven level lord. Stone turns into coal, sky into world. Just hearing a loud sound, deep in the depths of time, 2 phantom figures suddenly appear. What surprises people is that the more spiritual power they receive, the harder they become. A diamond-shaped form. A clock shape is the current form of the present rule, slowly flying towards the Thunder Dragon, who also receives a diamond crystal falling slowly. Is the surrounding vast space all under my control? Only seeing space once again. Falling into control, like the center suddenly shattered where he stood, transforming into a rotating spatial sword. In a gentle laughter, the stronger spatial storm heads towards the sky, using the 4th heaven level rule. In another parallel world, the woman Yu Dan holds the crystal void, which is almost invincible. If combined with another one, Yu2Do looks into the distant time distortion. Time can pause or accelerate if he wishes. Just at this moment, as he thinks of something, Yu2Do asks about the appearance of the 6 Dao wheels behind the central dragon court. It seems to be called the 6 Dao wheel Luan. This is the distortion of different laws, unlike the limitations of the 6 Dao wheels. The 6 Dao wheel Luan is an expression of perfection in laws, seemingly deeply engraved into the earth and sky. It's beyond your imagination. Now, he holds the wheel of Luan. All Luan wheels originate from him. To celebrate the success after decades of cultivation, the man starts playing with his small gun. Yu2Do finally understands more and exclaims that this is the difference of rulers. The 4th heaven lord has started to hold the scepter of the law. The 5th heaven lord and the 6th heaven lord seem to want to consolidate their hold on this scepter, but they only think about it. U2Do is not afraid. He even holds time and space to the point where he can modify the rules. The seventh heaven lord is perhaps the real source of fear. U2Do takes a deep breath and then begins to study these two scepters of the law. And not long after, even if he can't deny, the entire scepter is flattened for use, only a golden clock vibrates lightly, turning into light in the palm of his hand, then transforming into a small gun. This small gun conceals 8 spells, and can even create a panorama with 10 arrows. He can swallow the time of the world. The woman fish is very pleased, and on her face, there is a playful look. Hopefully, I won't have a chance to shoot the 8th bullet, she says, then purses her lips. U2Do doesn't understand why, but he truly has some inexplicable expectations. And then a sudden thunder makes him couldn't help but look up in surprise. Right after that, what continued to appear before U2Do's eyes was a vast sky of thunderclouds. As you gaze intently, you realize it's not just an ordinary thunder, but the thunder deity itself. So you don't hesitate to step out of your vacation in the blink of an eye, disappearing into the depths of time. And at that moment, the appearance of Si-Min from the Nine Yin Palace has stirred up the entire celestial realm. There is a monstrous creature from the Jin clan with 8 heads, eyes glowing red like snake eyes, gazing intently at the sky. Y2Do felt a bit annoyed. This little one, Duko, didn't tell me in advance. Did she reporting to the great snake lord? She doesn't want to disturb you, she's just always cultivating it, waiting for you. It has been waiting for several decades until today it can no longer contain itself, so Kuyu can't help but sneer. After hearing this, Y2Do understood that it had been waiting for him for a long time, and his thoughts were confused. Y2Do once again understood and then said directly, the great Exa has a perpetual inheritance, which is even more in line with the dream of seeing the success of the generations. Hope is very high. Saying so, our beloved wants to have a second lord, the white tiger. Upon hearing this, Bok Ho could not help but widen his eyes. Some were jubilant, some were worried. As the great snake was about to overcome the divine gate, other forces had already started to panic. Mandin had someone about to overcome the difficult phase, namely the difficult phase of the divine gate. Just kidding, you surely didn't misunderstand, right? The fate coincidentally gave Nok Din Tin not only Ma Hoang but also a Chu Che. Don't dream far, it's just the Chu Chess challenge. Currently, more than 10 people are ready to overcome it, but only 2 have succeeded. Hearing the dissonant sound at this moment, other masters breathed a sigh of relief, while Chu Luan of the Rebirth had awakened from deep within the underworld. I am not even on par with Ma Hoang, he said, self-blaming after fighting with a small gun for decades. Then he terrified himself with his neighboring sister. Thunder and Kutiu, boundless thunder converged, with thunder raining down. A loud laugh rang out, but the large serpent was fearless. His body truly no joke, and then once again, the great dragon snake became even more terrifying. Facing the thunder and the waves crashing, the wave attack today had spread, but the thunder could hardly harm a bit. As one of the famous fierce beasts, his body was truly no joke. And then, the great dragon snake became even more terrifying. Bok Tu-do turned his eyes towards Ma Hoang An, unexpectedly finding that Nok Din's boat had such a talent. Truly, an undeniable talent. Bok Tu-do agreed with the great dragon snake, this person truly had talent. However, at this moment, he also exclaimed in amazement, do you intend to break through the heavenly gate? It's almost time. Your spiritual power has been enhanced and purified. Just wait for the final completion. It's good. Tu-do promised to wait for you to break through the heavenly gate. I will support you. Little sister there, thanks to you Hoang Caca. A smile on Long Hoang's face intensified. At this moment, Bok Lin Dai Exa opened his mouth wide. In an instant, a mysterious light was trapped in the throat, 8 mysterious lights converging into one stream towards the thunderclouds. Lips trembling, looking at the fiery sun, Tu-do also raised a gun that fell into Ma Hoang's hand. The dazzling light blinded Long Hoang, who was somewhat suspicious. The frozen fourth laughter. Y2Do jerked back into the shimmering white-silver vortex. Everything seemed frozen. He had frozen the time of the entire sun system. In silence, the feeling of turbulence was abolished with the terrifying power of the White Lin Master rising. Only a person with such power could see this scene. Only feeling fear, his eyes twitched a bit. Rong Hoang opened his mouth quietly. This is the true power of Ma Hoang. In the eyes of Rong Hoang, if Ma Hoang wanted, even a bullet could hit a planet. The ability to destroy is not important, what matters is cunning and silence. This is what truly frightens. It seems she had realized the subtlety. Bok Tu-du smiled lightly, moving the gun in her hand. This was a magnificent painting of the law. When you touch the Chu Che Thien Mon, you will reap. Listening peacefully, Mong Hun could not help but exclaim, is this the secret of Chu Che Thien Mon? More accurately, it is the secret of Chu Che Tu Trong Thien. After speaking, he modulated his voice slightly. An unstable voice, the trembling of Mong Han's voice began. Chu Che Tu Trong Thien and Tu Du suddenly laughed. Their eyes continued to look at Loi Jia, and precisely at this moment, a large serpent exhaled. Dispersing the cosmic storm, my teacher has succeeded. The excited voice in his words shook the entire galaxy. Following the thunderous sound, the breath of fear quickly overwhelmed everywhere. From high above, a woman gazes down at the martial arts temple of the love deity, a vast starry sky where many strong individuals have to reveal their chaotic postures. He lightly chuckles, looking towards a figure approaching from afar. The third ruler in the sky has officially emerged. This man even rewards his opponent with a heart. In words of reverence, a slender figure kneels before the love deity. Despite becoming the ruler, he remains loyal to his brother, the Dragon Emperor. The Dragon Emperor, always stationed near the southern border, witnesses this scene and cannot help but be amazed. And at that moment, the breakthrough of the giant serpent truly shakes the martial arts temple of the love deity. Another powerful individual steps into the position of ruler. He broke through under the watch of the Dragon Emperor. Anyone who dares to disturb him, overcoming challenges becomes normal. Astonishment after astonishment. Countless forces are astonished. Finally, after two major rulers, the master of the Buddhist sect also becomes serious after calculations. The new divine king of the divine tribe has also been instructed. Trong Quang currently cannot confront the martial arts temple of the love deity. And at this moment, the love deity smiles as he looks at the attributes of the giant serpent. He cannot help but praise that strength, especially the two official spells. Once the great world manifests, projecting the great world onto reality, even the sun system may be corrupted. And then pulled into a terrifying nightmare, even more terrifying. Everyone feels fear, even Wai Tu-du cannot avoid it. When weak, he fears falling into the human experiment. If absorbed like that, just thinking about it, Wai Tu-du feels a bit chilly. Smiling, he also remembers the official spells of the giant serpent. Understanding the opponent can only win in every battle. A smile in his heart. He decides to call the giant serpent the Great Eye of Heaven. If there is nothing to do, reasoning about the Great Eye of Heaven is not a bad choice. And at this moment, Tai Mu looks at the giant serpent hovering and orders him to be calm. Saying that they split the tail, preparing many treasures, genius, and earth treasures. This position ranks just below him. With sincere thanks, the giant snake also receives the genius and earth treasures. But at that moment, the love spirit says that in the future, there is no need to perform the kneeling ceremony. A moment of silence on the face of the giant snake, showing an emotion that cannot be expressed. Master, if today you serve our king, you will forever serve our king, he said. After saying that, the giant snake even kneels before countless strong individuals. Immediately, he looks at the giant snake kneeling. Yu Tu-du also steps forward, lifting his hand to lift the giant snake up. Remember, in the martial arts realm, the strong are above. Those who are capable are above. Today, when you step into the position of ruler, you must take charge of a land. Vong Nok raises her mouth with a smile. The giant snake also promises to make this land prosperous. Yu Tu-du is very pleased. After a light laugh, he looks after him as he leaves. Looking at the giant snake leaving in the distance, Yu Tu-du also closes his eyes a bit. He has worn too many masks, creating the image of the sky savior. But the giant snake is truly different, now that he has become the ruler. Having his own territory and his own special thing. A smile of anticipation in Yu Tu-du's heart, feeling a bit eager. Growing up, in the future, the love spirit will have how much power? Only when the martial arts realm expands, he will have more power in the sky. A man grows stronger and becomes more greedy. Having found the two families to combine, currently Yu Tu-du needs to conceal his identity. Ultimately, he is a tree spirit in essence. If not for the overwhelming power and the need for him to counter the Van Chuk, who knows what plans have been made for him long ago. Gently sighing, Yu Tu-du knows he has been thinking too far. But he understands that he can't be too ostentatious. A light smile passes through Yu Tu-du's eyes, also looking towards Long Hoang not far away. When the Dragon Da Sha commander has broken through. The silence, the air of reluctance, a bit of helplessness, is a bit helpless. The Lord of Thunder has awakened from the deep in the abyss. I am even worse than under the command of the Devil King, he says with regret, after fighting with the. At this moment, Long Hoang Manghuyan appeared somewhat helpless. The Sky Drummer had opened the sky gate. Perhaps the next invasion could sweep away the entire sky. Shaking his head helplessly, Y2Du also cooperated. The looming anxiety was no longer the same as before. Long Hoang chose to leave immediately. But at this moment, a smile shaped like the letter C appeared on Y2Du's lips. Next time, I will bring the wrong family to trial. Y2Du thought about the other forces. Previously, the Western Great Tinnock had 3 powerful forces. The other 2 forces were the Celestial Messengers and the Special Tai Corner. Slightly smiling, Y2Du felt the need to truly deal with these 2 races. Not necessarily to completely subdue them, but to make them sure of the ancient alliance. Perhaps that would be fine. Thinking about it, Y2Du also turned towards the Tanma Central, firing a greeting. Stepping through time and space, Y2Du suddenly disappeared. Finally vanished from sight, a figure with 6 billion yellow hues quietly appeared in the sky. Glittering wings, feathers falling, the golden sky shimmered more brightly than the real angels. And now, at the 5th shrine of the Celestial Angel territory, standing in the Heavenly Palace. In recent years, the unstable borders were igniting. The most powerful but also somewhat dissatisfied. Lan also felt somewhat helpless. It had been many years. Why hadn't Ma Dainyan returned every time she asked? It was just silence. Lan's face, full of resentment, revealed a longing, but it was also the time to open up. A radiant yellow feather symbolizing honor left by a noble creature. If the Jin clan encountered danger, this feather could crush it. For a long time, he had wanted to try, but just then, his intense blue eyes called out. He noticed the feathers flaring up, and then Lam Nyat Tran, with fierce determination, headed towards the sky. Soon after, the celestial aura of Nu-Tu-Du also resurfaced, her eyes glaring back, hitting his eyes. Truly, a swift shadow arrived, looking unclear, surpassing imagination rapidly. After many years, Lam appeared, coolly dressed, but with an unchanged pure temperament that had once looked back from afar. All exuded a kind of elegance and holiness compared to before. Currently, Lam had matured, and many who had not come close to him had already heard a clear voice conveying the message to the Lord that a normal celestial woman would react differently to a great body like yours. Lam and Tu-Du welcomed him, which caught him off guard as the other party embraced Lan naturally and said in a loving manner, Yu Din Aom. But it had been a long time since they last met. How could Yu Din be the host? It was not understood, but he responded directly in such a way that he had never seen before. Involuntarily, the young woman, though reluctant, followed Lan's gesture as if she did not notice the reward. Shortly after, Lan directly brought Nu-Tu-Du back to the 5th Divine Palace. This Divine Palace was born because of you. Although currently not as powerful, among the angel clans, it is considered one of the top 5 strongest forces. Listening quietly, Tu-Du also feels a bit curious. Who founded the 5th shrine? In the moment of silence, the deity points to himself. I didn't have anything to do after creating everything, so I didn't expect such a big reaction. It seems the authority is still there if you want to step out on your own. Predicting that the 5th Divine Palace will soon become a leading force, even though Y2Du rejects her affection. She says, you know I don't like things like that. But at this moment, a very powerful force comes rushing in, making him feel like a devout force. Feeling the force gradually coming to him, Tu-Du realizes the nature. Even a light breath is full of vitality, pushing the states out of the body. The appearance of the angel finally remains true. This force is harmful to himself. Losing ethics in the future not only loses strength but also hinders progress. Focusing on the present will bring trouble. After speaking, he also includes this force, his lips curling slightly. He understands why the gods still do not forget the angels, for what reason. After thinking about it, Tu-Du's attention is redirected to a nearby green thing. He carefully looks at the position of the throne not far away. The divine face before the ruling lord cannot help but smile. Tu-Du realizes some things, but he starts talking. This time I come back because of the angel clan, because the face of the angel clan is colorless. Perhaps this is the first time I have shown seriousness. Currently, the Ma Ding clan is awakening and cannot be stopped. They are also resisting the invasion of the divine clan, but when it comes to halfway, Tu-Du also wants to speak. In the fossilized moment, he envelops himself with 6 wings. The whole person covered in it. Compared to the gentle approach in the eyes of countless people of the lineage, the sky is full of breath. Enhancing relations with the Ta Ding, a silent moment, the face becomes complex. Has that day come? We have been to Ta Ding for a while, made friends with many good people, and learned a lot about the situation. In our eyes, the great demon Yo Ding is definitely not as gentle as it looks. But the 10 original demon gods of Yo Ding, few were benevolent, let alone the Supreme Commander Dai Xa. Today, in other words, the hidden meaning of Yo Ding cannot be considered submissive to the will of Ta Ding. Later, the angelic nation is simply a vassal of Ta Ding on the surface to show the power of Ta Ding, while the angelic nation still maintains independence and autonomy. Even other emperors quietly listen. Lan also understands. Your Majesty wants us to participate, right? In a silent moment, Tu-Du transforms into the 5th angel, finally nodding. Currently, no one can stop Ta Ding. Participating is the act of the wise, and they also protect us. Moreover, we cannot defeat them. Before the Emperor, after the Great Commander, they are all at the level of domination, and even many are half-dominant. Joining them is caused by the wise. Furthermore, they also protect us. Moreover, we cannot fight back against the Demon Queen, Great Demon, these are all Lord level. Furthermore, half of their lords are not few. As he transformed into a wandering soul, he embraced himself with 6 wings enveloping his entire being. Compared to the ease in the eyes of thousands of Titan citizens, the sky had an infinite breadth. The first king of the Titan tribe apologized in advance. To prevent that development, it was also the test of the empty throne. A girl suddenly laughed, becoming increasingly satisfied with the plan, even anticipating the first goal in thousands of years under pressure. The distant king of the Great Serpent came to ask for forgiveness. The question was answered with a cold laugh. The Great Serpent King had changed his mindset and turned towards the Great Emperor Jade. Compared to the discretion of Bai Tu-Yu, the Great Serpent King was truly ruthless. And just as the two began to act, the void space was unhesitating. The entire void space was boiling. The void was created to hunt. Everything was prey, so, go ahead and invade. Listen quietly, the void creatures were not disturbed as they looked towards the Void Empire's 72 avenues of human form. In the faint whispers, Tu Long gradually gazed at a nearby army, lightly chuckling at the endless crowd, his gaze slightly blurred. As the leader of the Angel Everil, upon hearing the command, you will lead a large army to the rear where the Phoenix tribe is camped, then periodically send a small number of troops to raid the Phoenix tribe's resources. Throughout his life, in response to the infinite martial arts, he revealed a smile. Tu-Yu chuckled lightly but did not elaborate further. Finally, with a sharp gaze, Tu-Yu imagined carrying the extreme third force on his back. Later, you will be in charge of setting up camp behind the Long clan and the Shi-Nok clan. At the same time, monitor the Long clan. Listening quietly, the third king nodded but also responded with a slight smirk. Now, the sky was considered a breeding ground. Thinking about it, his eyes gradually deepened. Reviving dreams through thousands of years until the first 1,000 years come, we dream that the wilderness will try to harvest one by one. Though it only happens once every 1,000 years, there is still a challenge every 1,000 years to develop the empty kings. They will take responsibility for the invasion. This obstacle is also part of the test of the empty king. Surprisingly, the woman laughed loudly, feeling more satisfied with the plan, even expecting the dominance of the 1,000-year swordsmanship, the first OO under pressure. Just agreed to merge evil forces but ended up making a man become brothers with different mothers. Angel army is fundamentally different from other warm and pure armies. A glance at the color green makes people feel a chilling sensation that cannot be described. In front of everyone, the girl is still the same when she smiles and says that if everyone agrees, then I won't say much but I can assure you that Love City will not harm you. But then the city lord asked the official, can you tell us, not knowing who you are in Love City, and how to ensure that the other party does not harm us? He smirked a bit and said that the Love King is my older brother. So I dare to guarantee that even can vouch, even can say that I am higher than 10 others in Love City. In a moment of silence, even Salafer and the city lord heard this. They couldn't help but be surprised. Lan was also shaken. In the position of Love City, he also understands. Right, if truly protected by the official in Love City, then we don't worry, we will encounter trouble in the future. Nodding their heads, other strong angels also agreed. The girl smirked a bit. causing a smile after participating in the grand ceremony for half a year. With a loud noise the whole universe shook. He transformed into a bright light. Only when leaving Y2Do raised a doubtful question about the port. Immediately answered by the Demon Emperor about a hopeful future regarding talent. Lan is definitely one of the top 10 people in the history of the Angel Tribe. Unexpectedly, the girl in front of him was highly praised like that. Laughing, Y2Do no longer thinks much. Flying to Love City a few days later, Love City, one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy, welcomed a fifth king. The angels couldn't afford to lose. He was me. I am him. He can temporarily take charge of leading Love City. Right at the next moment, at the center of the solar system, a divine tree sprouted. After the terrifying roar of horror, the feathers covered the sky and earth. Rising from behind this divine tree, I am the fifth angel. The gentle words echoing in everyone's ears, lips raising. The graceful rhythm of Y2Do spread throughout the solar system with a song. A brilliant light spread in all directions. All diseases disappeared. Even those who were sluggish became rejuvenated. This is the divine art of the fifth angel, the boundary of the creative angelic clan. Now a soft singing echoed, spreading throughout the solar system. Like 1,000 angels praying along with the rules of the entire solar system temporarily frozen when he sang. Those strange rhythms spread there. All life stopped. Seeing this scene, he truly realizes the terrifying world of creation. It is not in vain that he is a legendary martial god. Even the appearance makes a catastrophe surprising, because this deity can create disasters, but like a mysterious big tree with just a few words it paints a big picture. By the time the two talked about it, Y2Do also decided to perfect this divine art transformation. Seeing the amazement of everyone, he shrank the divine art. Then a feather flew towards a nearby divine tree. Flying straight to the fluttering feather standing on the branch, everyone's body shook. Stepping on the branch, two people disappeared between heaven and earth. When they returned to the deep time, Y2Do felt the power of the creative world awakening the rules. The sky trembles with a whispered word he spent time cultivating from the evolutionary point in time. Time passes slowly in the blink of an eye. The day has come when Y2Do and two tribes have made an appointment, and on this day, the entire galaxy is closely guarded. Warships continue to appear in the sky along with a loud explosion. Dozens of giants have stepped forward except for the Titan tribe. The bright light continues to shine. The sky is full of shining figures with beautiful wings. At the forefront is none other than the Angel King Lam VV. Among the leaders, the 9 Bull Devil King stands up to the sky. I should also welcome them. It's time to go out. As he finished speaking, he faced Y2Do. With a figure of 18 billion, he quietly followed suit amidst the thunder. The figure appeared at the end of the white jade street. The footsteps followed one after another, as if stepping on the chest of the world. The heartbeat of countless people resonates with him. We come to visit the Demon King. A harmonious call echoes from his mouth. Smiling gently, his eyes slowly scan around. Y2Do also pays attention to a group of angels and titans not far away. With a smile, he also raises his hand to welcome them. As his words descend like a command, an invisible force lifts them into the sky. But in the eyes of the titan, it is truly terrifying. Finally, because they are too large, when their eyes return in surprise upon discovering the true power of the Demon King as well as other strong individuals. Now the Angel Tribe and Titan Tribe have joined the Love Realm, and KY rejoices. But first, the Angel Warrior Lam and the Titan Great Head look at each other. Lam and Huvong also nod and step forward. The two have great power and good control. From today, Lam will be the Angel King of the Love Realm. The Great Head will be the Titan King of the Love Realm. Indeed, Y2Do also raises his right hand, and a peach tree in the sky. A peach tree seems to appear. The divine peach tree, one of the divine trees of heaven and earth. Today, I will divide it between the two of you to take care of carefully. In a strange moment, they look at each other. Both also accept, but the Great Head bluntly says, "O Demon King, please protect our Titan tribe carefully in the future." Y2Do smiles. "Your conditions, I accept as long as you do not betray the Love Realm." After a simple conversation, he clarified the relationship between the two tribes. Initially, his plan was to deal with the evil power in the sky, but surprisingly, due to the appearance of the wild beast and his tribe, he had to leave. After leaving knowledge behind, he chose to leave, but this time, he did not return to ancient times but went to the Dragon Tribe. When conveying his thoughts, an elderly person from the Dragon Tribe gave him some information. Recently, the void atmosphere from the Dragon Tribe's star region has spread. Many planets have been affected. Turning into purple, the girl looks worried and the man says, "Oh really?" The elderly person from the Dragon Tribe sighs slightly, adding that because of this, the Dragon Emperor will not be reluctant. Recently, the Long Tribe's star region has been constantly filled with void breath. Many planets have been invaded. Turning into purple, the girl's worries will gradually be revealed. The young man seems surprised. Isn't he? The Long Tribe's elder sighs a bit more worriedly, so the Dragon Emperor cannot avoid it. Please step forward a bit, but at this moment, the corner of the girl's mouth twitches a bit. Remember, he is extremely careful with his words here. That hot-tempered individual who conflicts with the dragon tribe cannot be avoided. It is expected that the future days of the dragon tribe will not be peaceful, therefore, he also prays a bit. And right now from a void behind the dragon kingdom a strange cry rang out everywhere. Killing and destruction are the main theme of the void, but what we need to do is to stay here to tame the void creatures around until the wings are full. It was the day of destruction of the dragon tribe. The third great being reacted. Countless void creatures roared, and as soon as that from a distance different void creatures began to wake up, but they were different from those following the third great being's orders. Like a wild animal when the corners of the mouth are raised, the third great being seems to realize in a cold smile. Unexpectedly, as soon as we stepped in here we faced the same race. A suspicion. The void creatures beside laugh and say this can be considered the same race. Right? Cold laughter. A void creature coldly said, but it's just a test, that's all. Silence for a moment. The third great being nodded. No hesitation, the battle begins in a tense atmosphere. Countless mythical creatures laugh and deceive, but the third great being reminds that there are good talents not to be foolish to supplement the army. And then a sudden explosion from behind Dragon Kingdom. A great battle took place in a hellish region behind the Dragon Clan. Previously, with the restraint of the dragon offspring, most high-level creatures dare not swallow their own kind. Now away from the dragon offspring, they need to expand, even surpass grades. Can't help but sigh that swallowing your own kind is finally too much. The third great being is not someone full of emotions right now. He clearly understands. The enemy of nothingness is not nothing, it is those damn races. It seems we need to ask for orders after level 4. There is no specific situation to deal with. Life DJ just thinks so. At the same time, a pair of eyes transcends time. A person tries his best in the Dragon Kingdom. A younger sister stands near him. Recently the Love Emperor is not obedient, looks very dangerous. Why to deuce eyes in the answer? Look to a corner of the sky. The void atmosphere is terrifying and deep. The man's lost gaze in the original gaze wanted to help the younger sister see where the enemy is, but found the old enemy had intervened. It seems that the void race has taken root behind your Dragon Kingdom. Dragon Dream nodded in agreement. I will go find out for her. In the eyes of the Dragon Dream Kingdom, she heard only a bang. Y2Do headed towards the void and left, not to wait too long. With the explosion today, the starry sky shattered like a broken mirror. One half of the solar system completely shattered, turning into a black hole. Sounds of blame and lamentation continuously. Countless strong people of the dragon tribe are afraid, but at this moment a purple dragon hand begins to rise from within Love Emperor. He is challenging. Right along with the words, the dragon hand became stronger. Half of the sun's sky was completely shattered, turning into a black hole. The continuous cries of blame echoed endlessly. Many powerful beings of the dragon tribe were terrified, but at that moment, a purple dragon hand began to emerge from within. The elder brother of the royal dragon was challenging the void. With his words, the dragon hand grew even stronger. As the dragon hand spoke, it became more majestic. At this moment, the dragon realm of dreams and illusions felt the blood boiling. He even felt a sense of awe. Not only the dragon realm of dreams and illusions, but even the dragon realm of earth soldiers found it a bit incomprehensible. The scent of the dragon was the reason they lost control. This bloodline is the dragon tribe Dragon King, but now threatening a mother. That is when fairy takes action. Once they take action, the celestial law will be deployed. Thousands of chains like shackles attacking the dragon hand. It's been several decades since then. Two figures like hereditary enemies once again clashed. The star-filled sky began to shake. The storm swept away half the galaxy. Countless dragon tribe warriors withdrew from the battlefield but could not keep up with the speed of this power. At this point a deep breath was exhaled. The strange dream of the Dragon King, the figure of the Dragon Master. He had no doubts, even though powerful, could only be a dragon warrior landing on the battlefield. The crown was also created from Kim Nok. These two monsters have reached this level. A little strange mood. Long King was a bit puzzled, just knowing with your talent, if you lack opportunities you can cultivate for thousands of years and still not catch up with them. Long King's face suddenly changed. Long King also opened his eyes in a beautiful dream. The face couldn't believe, and then the golden clock from a distance turned into a golden rifle. When the 8th bullet was fired, in a moment it blurred everything. Along with it were the figures one after another stepping out. Heading towards that place. Too long. Sand Quan complete 4 fish eggs. One sound next. One nom nom. Rushing towards the enemy comes only the 8th bullet. He understands not much. This investigation target is also too long, but inside a heavy sigh in his heart. He realizes that they are strengthening the body, sending their magic. A person uses the divine law, the other uses the 10th sword, and another even transforms into an entity. But then the fish also closed his eyes. He planned to join and he tightly held the law. Then a call. Countless stars turned into bright rays. 8 swords stood tall, nurtured for hundreds of years, now all out. A giant dragon faced his own body, not daring to attack, even signing a treaty to limit each other. A finger points to a Milky Way covered by countless swords far away from the dragon's hand. Many powerful warriors of the dragon tribe opened their eyes to that figure, but many warriors closed their eyes. The eyes are too terrifying, they can't even bear it. When looking at the dragon far away, they also widened their eyes, but have to admit that whether using oneself or using you, the dragon is nervous. A small smirk of the dragon, the long wings open up a dazzling light. The void storm in the battle faces the fact that the purple wings were cut off. The purple storm swept away the sky. He looked towards the distant bright light rushing to the sky, falling into silence. The golden light collided with the purple storm, turning into a light ball like a yin and yang. We go and come back to the child in the heart, in the life of a housewife. He rushed towards that delicate ball, and then a small smile. Together with Y2Do, he drew thousands of vines hugging that ball. He once again faced everyone with his power, stopping the disaster of the demon emperor, like waiting for the day of the master. My divine law is your deadline. And you, if you don't pay attention to the status of the enemy, you have to wait for the day of my master. This is your deadline. You, if you dare to act, the Abyssal Clan will appear and he will lead the Abyssal Clan. The strong should not intervene in the weak. Just because of the existence of the demon emperor has broken the rules and even the balance. But at this point the Long King directly said that the Void Master is probably to train right. Y2Do nodded, then also said that it seems I am limited. Many Long Kings felt a bit, didn't say much, but also just smiled and teased. They did not expect to make such a request, but even so the Golden Dragon Clan went first this time. Thanks a lot to the Love God. This is what the chief of the Myriad Tribes needs to do next. I will inform the Myriad Tribes. Let it be like that in the future. Nodding, Manhwa smiled. It seems that what the Void Lord said may not be useful. After hearing it, Y2Do immediately reminded not to underestimate the Void Clan. Their potential is not a joke, I understand. The older brother Love Dream recorded this, saying at this point, compared to the concerns of the Void Goddess, her eyes look at an unknown Dragon King, making the surroundings chaotic. Looking from afar, Y2Do looked intently, then said, a terrified child, but never lose your way or space won't forgive you. Meanwhile the dragon Trung Noi, who heard the body, trembled slightly. Love Hoang Dai Nyan. I will definitely remember your teachings. He then smiled and talked about filial piety. Everything has a conclusion and I will only follow the will of heaven. Ling Tu Keen saw the agreement on Y2Do's face, but details on the opposite side are unknown. Right after, a news spread throughout the Myriad Tribes. Love Hoang and the Void Lord signed a treaty. Both sides cannot intervene at the lower level, cannot participate in the war. The armor in front awoke because of the appearance of a man, but shattered because of their disappearance. A simple news causing the powerful in the Myriad Tribes to be excited. They thought it was beneficial for the Myriad Tribes, but no one knows. Miss To-Do smiled. This surely has deep thoughts. He looks forward to that day, and after returning to Love City, he once again returns to the time of the Great Divine Thaumaturgy. Blood Great Divine has realized an important point. There is not much time to care about space anymore. Then Y2Do's eyes turned towards that sea of blood. Many intentions spread in the sky. The eyes glanced a bit. He looked towards the battlefield next to it along with the eternal blood. He didn't know whose blood that was, but if he turned into the host it wouldn't be difficult. Now is the important time. Because of the difficulty of understanding the Great Divine Thaumaturgy, now it needs to use the eternal blood to try the new master position. Meanwhile, the new time Ninong also has his own decision. Finally, training is not simple. Y2Do changed a bit, and with a loud noise the entire view became blurred. Truly a great soul force, a terrible body, 6 switching talent body previously, now after being supplemented by countless geniuses and treasures, only restored to switching 6. He confidently believes that with this body he will defeat the Dragon King. Dream transformation without failure. Now it's time to really train. After speaking without hesitation, the soul force also began to flow, bright red, fiery, shaking. From today I hope that I end a final blessing for my blood. He arranged the position of the sea of blood of the ancestors. I will go first. A step, politely bid farewell to the divine tree. He stepped out of space, and at this moment, a dark world with a beam of light shooting into the sky. A terrifying quake, the pillar of light of the world increasing continuously as if to cover the entire world. The ancestors have returned. The deep, resonant voice echoed, filling the hearts of many tribes with joy. The ancient armor, stained with countless bloodstains, seemed almost joyful and eager. The light continued to erupt, slowly rising into the sky, casting a red light that illuminated the world. The mixed divine armor is one of the oldest weapons. Today, it has finally been completely restored. However, what surprised many experts of the divine armor lineage was that this weapon was now hanging high in the sky. Why did the ancient divine armor suddenly ask the experts who transmitted the message why the breath of the ancestors disappeared? A difficult life, he once again faced the haze. But surely the ancestors have been restored. I will never make a mistake. Unable to contain his astonishment, he even shouted unexpectedly, causing countless divine armor tribes to be frightened, with many of them even perishing in this turmoil. Why is the Emperor's weapon acting this way? This puzzled the leaders of the divine armor lineage. Father, I feel that it is because the long sleep has clouded the mind of the Emperor's weapon. The princess of the divine armor lineage, with just one reaction, swiftly flew in. Although the soul of the Emperor's weapon may have gone mad, there is still a way. Please listen to me once again. Initially, it was just meant to prepare for peaceful cultivation, but due to its overwhelming power, it was deemed a treasure. The princess of the divine warrior tribe swiftly arrived in just one reaction. Even though the soul of the Emperor's weapon may have gone mad, there is still a way. Please listen to me once again. Initially, only wanted to prepare for cultivation peacefully, but due to the tremendous power, it was considered a treasure. In just a short time after that, the entire divine warrior world fell into a wave. A figure in armor stepped out. My ancestor has come to find you. The voice is as faint as the sound of metal transmitting to bestow the soul of the Emperor's weapon. As if making a deal, even betraying oneself for an unpredictable future. The leader of the divine warrior tribe, upon seeing this, could not contain his astonishment. This may be the precious gem in his hand, willingly becoming a slave just to protect the divine warrior tribe. Meanwhile, Y2Do is still searching in the deep sky. Now he wants to find a peaceful and secluded corner to cultivate alone. The girl looks around and realizes that the largest border of the North Star Bay is very good. Amidst the roar of the sea of blood, he draws the shape of the blood ocean's body with just a few breaths covering half the orbit. Simply endless. He emphasizes the girl, surprised and frightened, but its appearance is discouraging. The giant of the Changma tribe, once considered insignificant in the presence of powerful tribes, now realizes the true horror of the sea of blood. His naturally gifted physique had already reached the 6th transformation, but after being enhanced by numerous geniuses and treasures, it has only just recovered to the 6th transformation. But through the years falling down 4 turns and with the addition of countless geniuses and treasures of mine now only recovering to the 6th turn, it is time to truly cultivate. After speaking without hesitation, the soul power also starts flowing brightly. The breath of the two connecting, sometimes sharpness doubles. Time passes slowly. Half a year has passed. In a flash the blood ocean expands. 40 more soul forces continuously pouring in to compensate for past weaknesses. Everything is returning. The star touching the blood ocean has turned into islands in his cultivation process. Now that Y2Do has left, they will also leave. This makes him a bit complacent. Later, I can give birth to a blood god through these stars. Like a planet giving birth to life with just a smile gesture, he understands that it is time for a great work. Just looking at the golden bloodline, immediately a great force continuously pours into his body. My darling. Is this the eternal blood essence? In lifelong amazement, he marvels at the intense energy. Only when he focuses on absorbing it does he not notice the noise. A bloody storm rises in the sky. The terrifying soul power was shrouded in a layer of blood mist, and a horrifying scream echoed. Beings from 2 or 3 different planets could all see the bloody light, a sign of a celestial treasure appearing. The three-eyed spellcaster did not hold back his words. You have intruded into the bloodlight space. Surely you are destined to be of our bloodline. After a loud laugh, a bat flew towards the camera. But the most shocking thing was the demonic clan deep within the vast world. They considered the ancestors that the war emperor mentioned to be returning, not mere bloodthirsty pirates. Go on patrol, Death Watch. Awaken the old man in the closed alley and ask for another earthly blade. The man only wanted to become stronger after obtaining a new body, without saying a word. To offer their lives to him, along with a loud explosion, the red blood flowed. Each person was a large army. The demonic clan gathered and directed the flow of red blood overflowing from the sky to the earth, even tearing apart the demonic world. Not far away, a powerful figure suddenly stood up, surprised, looking towards the powerful figure of the spirit world, unable to believe his eyes focused on the flowing blood. Had the demonic clan gone mad by sending out such a large army? They have another world? A large clan of the demon world was terrified by this. The current demonic clan is probably empty inside if they can find the coordinates of another world. An urgent call. Many powerful figures are gathering. They dare not do that. The powerful often do not hesitate to destroy space towards the sky, and that is deep within the celestial clan. Every elder of the celestial clan looked serious. One man gazed at the starry sky. The tense atmosphere filled the silent moment. Everyone was attentive, not knowing what to do. At this time, 2Do did not know he was cultivating the eternal quality of power, paying no attention to the impression. Just at this moment, a 6th-ranked giant fell from the sky like a kite, struggling, falling into a vast sea of blood appearing beneath him. Not good, I will help you. After a call, another giant flew in, but in the next moment, the familiar image appeared. The waves engulfed both sixth-ranked giants, falling into the blood. Is that a famous river or a vast sea gathered from weak water? According to legend, this type of water does not wet bird feathers. Even the powerful find it difficult to cross. There must be a special reason, and now looking intently into the countless skies, everyone was stunned. Slowly raising their heads, many powerful figures paid attention from the bottom of the blood river. Like a roaring blood dragon, it must be a place of great significance. A powerful figure of the celestial clan ranked it as one of the 10 significant places, but not long after. Seemingly unbelieving, many powerful figures stepped out. "Let us investigate this," said a man. Suddenly, there appeared a phoenix man, calling out in a voice that cut through the sky. The powerful figure of the phoenix tribe used magic to take flight. Beside me, the 6th-ranked giant of the dragon tribe had sent out a 7th-ranked boat with a roar. The small boat, like a palm-sized toy, swiftly grew into 1,000 tridents under the gust of wind. On the other side, the powerful figure of the spirit tribe did not hesitate. The powerful figure of the spirit tribe did not hesitate to send out his phoenix lake at this time. Tudu did not know, since when he opened his eyes, looking at the edge of the bloodstream, he did not expect that simply refining the quality would attract so many guests, all of them ranking 6th. But the gap between life layers is truly too large. Following the terrifying roar, Tudu also chooses to continue refining the eternal blood essence, which is a male of the Phoenix clan. A strong cultivator who has traveled tens of thousands of miles cannot resist focusing on cultivation, considered a precious treasure. The entire powerful world opened a world war because of him. The powerful beings of the Phoenix race had long been prepared and immediately turned back, flying towards the edge of the Blood Sea. And now, beyond the Blood Sea, countless powerful beings saw the abnormality of the remaining 11 individuals. "Do you know that the distance you fly is just endless space?" In a whisper, Y2Du turned his eyes to look at the powerful beings. With a sigh, his soul was stirred. Each wave swept up, and at the same time, on the Blood Sea, a strong wind began along with blood-colored waves. A stunning sound followed another, and those still crossing the Blood Sea were now desperate. Without waiting for their reaction, the fierce waves knocked away the powerful of the Spirit Clan. Other forces had seen the 11 individuals go ahead and return in disarray. Had they not concealed their intentions, they would have fallen into the Blood Sea. To show his hidden intentions, Y2Du suppresses his imposing presence entering his non-state, but to ensure safety, he has also entrusted a matter. Hong Lin, please don't cause trouble. Time passes slowly, just in a blink of an eye, several days have passed. The blood dragon rolls up in countless blood dragons swirling around as blood exchanges also paint a bloody image, but at that moment, he had forgotten himself, not noticing the terrible change. Besides the Blood Sea, the ominous sound follows. Other powerful beings truly recognize the illustrious Water Clan and they rush into space towards countless powerful individuals, but a resounding refusal sounded as the Dragon Clan powerhouse roared, "Who do you think you are?" The Phoenix Clan's powerhouse beside them just smiled gently, showing some of their teeth. This is not only the Dragon Clan. Many forces at the peak of space have also reached unity. But the powerful beings of the extreme are pondering. The Water Clan is shouting about the ancestors. Without much thought, countless Water Clan members rush forward in front of the powerful ones. A powerful person from the 6 realms heads towards the powerful one of the Spirit Clan not far away, holding a blood knife, and on the other side, the former captain of the Water Clan is using blood as a path. Their aura has been trampled. The powerful ones are still near the Blood Sea. Countless powerful individuals are angry. From the end of space they rush out. The flow begins to sweep space among countless powerful forces. No one realizes the situation. The world war begins like this. Every life is paid for by another life. A powerful general leads a force sinking a faction of power. And that is the camp of the dragon race, with just tens of thousands of people stepping in. They were forced back by this army. Other forces are the same. Countless forces are allied, heading towards the flow of blood. At this moment, the roar of the Dragon Clan rises high in waves. A Dragon Clan powerhouse activates the dragon's roar, then countless blood mist explodes. Not only his clan, but also many powerful individuals in the tribe. Not even a moment to rest. The shadow of blood pierces through the body. The ultimate cosmic battle begins because of the appearance of a man unexpectedly. The Holo treasure group is not afraid of death, rescuing a woman in an extremely charming smile. Also, the moment she slowly turns her back, the water demon forces infiltrate those who are pierced. Life will be swallowed to the core. The overly powerful individuals finally attract the attention of the powerful ones, then they are attacked from behind. For many years, those who are caught up in this joy may have forgotten the world's war. A cold laugh, along with a fake expression, he finally revealed his true face. In the end, a world war is no trivial matter.